3, 2, 1.
All right, so we were on mid-tier. Is it disappearing? I mean, is Marvel Legends good enough? What were you saying?
I was saying, like, the cost of goods and quality of these figures are starting to go up. So, like, the price has to go up with that. I mean, Jada Toys is one of those, like, lower tier, price, really friendly price ranges. And every time I buy one of their figures, like, I just got this Balrog in yesterday. I went and bought him. And, dude, he's probably up there as far as one of the better figures in the line. And they seem to get better and better. And then, so the quality of their goods is going up. I would imagine that like, it was a $35 figure. I could see these figures that they're like their deluxe editions are starting to push into that $40, $45 range. I can see that happening by the end of the year or next year. So yeah, I mean, you were talking about it too with this like mid tier ascension where it's no longer, it's actually creeping up into the upper tier.
Well, and I mean, Mattel's coming out swinging with some of their entry level stuff. Like for $10.99, they're putting licensed figures out, and you start talking about the $10.99 Batmans or Flashes or He-Man or whatever it is that they're putting out. Those things still have licenses, so a lot of times I don't know if I buy the whole licensing hype thing because if you sell X amount of action figures for $100 a piece, maybe you're only planning on selling a couple of million of those versus these guys that sell them at $10 a piece or $20 a piece might sell 10 million of them. I don't know what the answer to that is. I know it's simpler than just Cash Bros trying to steal my money.
Yeah. I think, I mean, obviously they gotta make a profit. I mean, they're a business. We want as collectors, we want these action figures and these toys. In order for them to do that and make them a higher quality, we have to put up with the pricing. I mean, that's just the way it is. We see that like I am pretty much like really close with the McFarlane line, and I see that in their lines. There's times where the whole wave will come out and everything is like killer. The articulation is really good on the figures, the sculpting, the cloth wired caves, like everything we could ask for as the collectors is in this wave of figures. But then the very next wave or two waves are lacking paint applications, wired capes. We're losing out on some of the quality. And a lot of people get an uproar like, oh my God, how do you have the same body buck without the cloth wired cape? It's like, guys, they have to recycle figures. They are also going to take out some of the expenses. Hopefully they can make money, recoup them. That way another wave that comes out later will have that again. So they pick and choose where the quality is. And I think that happens across all the companies. They pick and choose where the quality is. Yeah, of course.
They could make a new buck and they could make a new mold and they could do all that stuff brand new every single time if you want to pay $50 or $60 or $70 or $80 for every figure that you get, Yeah, I mean, but it's like we want $25 figures and we want them all to look different. We want them all on different bucks and we want I don't know. My brain always goes to the business side of this stuff. Of course, I want the same things everybody else wants, but also I kind of look at it from the perspective of how do these guys make money? I mean, and yes, I'm sure they make lots of money, but in case anybody out there didn't know, it's not a charity. That's why they do the things that they do to make money because somebody wants to live in a mansion someplace. So don't buy their stuff if you don't think people should live in mansions. I mean, I don't know what to say about that.
Well, like you said, if we want all these unique body bucks, you realize how expensive that's going to be on the company and how expensive it has to be on the consumer in order to do that. I mean, you find me a mass producing company that isn't reusing body bucks, and I'll show you a unicorn, right? Because that doesn't happen. You go from the lowest tier, the highest tier. You think Hot Toys isn't reusing their bodies? They're not reusing the same like bodies underneath the rubber? Are you kidding me? Absolutely they are. So it's just this idea of everything has to be unique, every single figure and all these the paint apps need to be elite every single time. It's not a realistic expectation to have on these companies. Buy what you want, you skip what you don't, and that's it.
Yeah, it's got to be a murder to be a completionist these days.
Oh my God, I would never want to do that. I was like that with my McFarlane's, and I gave up because it's like they're churning out 100 figures every quarter. I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, like, you know, I'll cover like the maximum series, or we can cover the maximum series. I have all of those, with the exception of Thor, which I don't know. Did that even ship yet? So, but I have it pre-ordered, I think. So, I mean, I'll get my hands on it. We'll see what it's like. I can tell you this much: the Maximum Series Spider-Man was one of the best ones I'd seen, you know, last year. So I just got the SH Figure Arts, just came in, which is funny because I joined a collab that was spider centric.
Okay.
And it, like today, I had the Sentinel. I ordered one of those Sentinel toys, Spider-Man Noirs. I have the SH Figure Arts one, but I wanted to compare them because it doesn't have the soft goods that the SH Figure Arts did for the but it's looks more leather. Like it's kind of just looks better. It's a little shorter, you know, stuff like that. But Spider-Man Noir is cool right now, so I picked that up. That was not mid-tier.
I mean, you touch on the Maximum Series stuff. Like, you know, do you think they shot themselves in the foot by releasing Spider-Man first, which was probably arguably their best figure, and not worked up to that Spider-Man? Because, like, I guess everybody, I don't have that figure, but everybody said that was like in their top 5 figures of the year last year.
I think the Hulk was the first one that they released, and everybody lost their friggin' minds. It
was Spider-Man. Yeah, Spider-Man was first,
okay.
And then it was Hulk, then it was Deadpool, and now it's Thor. So
okay, because in my head I thought it was the Hulk first because everybody was like raving about, you know, how good this Hulk was going to be, and I was new into the action figure. I mean, like, you know, it was last year or whatever when I was pretty new at this stuff, and I was like, I need a Hulk, man. This thing looks rad. So I got it and unboxed it, and I was perfectly happy with it, you know. And everybody else is like, oh, this thing's a piece of junk, and you know, and it sucks, and it can't even clap its hands together. And I'm like, you know, I mean, like, seriously,
they screwed up their marketing with that Hulk, because the whole premise of that Hulk was so they could do the clap, and then he couldn't do the clap. But if you take the clap out of it, if they didn't promote it as this Hulk that can finally do the clap, and they just gave us a Hulk, I don't think people would have that big of an issue. It's just like everything around that figure with the effects and stuff. It's like, if you can't do it 100%, I understand the frustration, but the figure looks great. I've seen your photos of that Hulk, and people in the community. It's an awesome looking Hulk. I can't say I would complain about buying that figure unless my expectation was I should be able to do that. But
I don't
think
actually
people just want to complain.
I don't actually play with my action figures. I pose them for photos. That's what I do with my action figures. And I mean, I'm not out in the sandbox, you know, like rah, 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 with my figures, you know. And I've heard these stories about like the Hulk's chest ripping the rubber part, and I'm like, what are you doing with your action figures, man?
Right.
Like, you know, I mean, everybody's got a story about buying something that, oh, don't get that, man. I've heard they're terrible. The legs are broken in the box. And like, you kind of find out like that happened to, like, you know, in one batch of them to like a group of people. And then the word gets out that it's like some horrible. And then I got one, and I'm like, yeah, I don't have any problems with that. There's nothing wrong with this. So, yeah. All right.
How you treat your figures is really important.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have them like in glass cases, and, you know, I mean, they sit on shelves, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not taking them out and throwing them in the mud unless they're storm.
Yeah, right.
Mud. But.